This is Uncle Bill and the twin, Kyle Dudley, and we've got a very special guest today. We've got
Filling in for Kevin Dudley, his dad, Ed Dudley.
Ed Dudley. This is a very special moment. It's great to have you. We're here at beautiful, scenic, undisclosed location. But a lot of hot stuff in the news. We're going to start with tennis because, Eduardo is a tennis aficionado, and he has actually turned Kyle into a great tennis person, too. So we're going to start with the French Open and talk about Venus. Looked like she was kind of shot, man. What do you think, man? She lost, first round? First round, almost for the first time in, 15 years. Do you think she's done?
I don't think she's done because she's still winning championships with her wonderful sister, Serena.
In doubles.
But I think she needs to get in a little better shape. She has all this fashion and other things, but I have no problem. A lot of people have problems because she was so great seeing her lose, but I have no problem seeing her lose in the first round if she's also going to be playing doubles with Serena.
What do you think? You're not so generous.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with my dad here.
All right.
I think Venus is done with singles. She hasn't won a Grand Slam in a long time. She lost in the first round yesterday at the French Open. She's been losing in the second round, losing in the third round. She hasn't even been to a singles finals in several years. Like my dad said, she's a great doubles player. Her and Serena can still get it done in doubles. I used to love watching Venus, both of them, but Venus, when they came in with the beads in their hair, and, when Venus dominated Wimbledon in the early 2000s, she was one of my favorite athletes ever. And to see her struggle against inferior opponents now, it's very...
But they're not inferior anymore.
Right. Seeing her not even, maybe 50% of what she used to be, she's played so well for so long to just resort to losing in the first round.
Venus can still play, right? She could play until she's 50.
Yeah, it went 3 sets, and it was 6-4 in the third set. Some people think, because she was so great, they don't like seeing her lose in the first round. But I don't mind it.
Speaking of people who are exited, Golson, the quarterback at Notre Dame, the former quarterback at Notre Dame, who Notre Dame turned the keys to this boy, and now all of a sudden we find out a couple of days ago he's out of school. He says academic impropriety. This means at the very least cheating. Were you surprised?
I was definitely very surprised. He just led Notre Dame to the national championship game. They were probably going to be preseason top 5, maybe top 2 in the country. It's unfortunate, but kids make mistakes. We don't know exactly what the mistake was, but Notre Dame's going to have a tough year this year, and hopefully they'll be back the year after with Golson back at quarterback.
He could always get a job out here, like dealing with a fishing boat or something, to get himself.
Yeah, he's got a year off now. He's got a year off.
He could be out here, doing tours and stuff. Hot story again is Rutgers. We've all been following the story at Rutgers where they caught the guy on Tate Rice calling the guys, the F word and homophobic slurs and all that, so they got rid of him. So now they get rid of the AD because he didn't do anything. So now they bring in a new AD whose job is supposed to be tolerant. Finds out that 16 years ago she resigned because her kids' volleyball team was up in arms because she was verbally abusive. And this is the woman that they got lead the program.
When the athletic director and the coach got fired, I was shocked that the president didn't go too, because he saw the tape. He didn't ask to see the tape. He heard that the coach was being suspended and didn't ask to see the tape. And then, the next person they hire, they have their own baggage too. Verbal abuse. You go from verbal and physical abuse to another verbal abuse. This guy should be gone, and maybe Rutgers, the whole athletic department should just shut down.
Maybe they should just. I guess the NBA play. Tonight we've got a game. We got San Antonio and Memphis. 4. Normally I won't say this because when you guys see this, the game will be over. But who do you guys think that we'll be talking about tomorrow? Do you think that Memphis will live for another day, or do you think the series is done?
I think Memphis is going to live for another day, but we're really going to be talking about Indiana and Miami because that's going to go 7 games.
You think so? After what we saw yesterday? But let's first things first.
Well, I'm going to disagree with my dad on both of the things he said because I picked Miami in 5 games, and I still think that's going to happen. And I think San Antonio is going to win tonight. Sweep Memphis, put them out of their misery. They're just not on San Antonio's level. And they caught Oklahoma City without Russell Westbrook. They caught the Clippers when Blake Griffin was banged up. They're just not on the same level as the Spurs. The Spurs ended tonight.
Let's talk about the Indiana series. I mean, a couple days ago we were saying, "Wow, man, Indiana just found the answer. They found the answer." But to me, any series that's got LeBron James, that is just such a huge advantage. I mean, I think Indiana's done. I mean, I think they're done.
I mean, I think they're definitely done. I think I think Miami's going to win game 4 in Indiana and go back home and close the deal. LeBron's been great, but when you got guys like Udonis Haslem hitting 8 of his first 9 shots, I mean, as a defense, what are you going to do? Because you have to leave him open. You have to, put your attention on LeBron and Wade and Bosh. You have to leave Haslem open. If he keeps hitting those shots, Indiana's got no shot. They're gonna lose by 20 again, just like they did in Game 3.
Who do you like? I know. I think they should just stop it right now. So, well, you know what? Let's just stop it now. Let's let Miami and San Antonio play. Who do you like in that series? San Antonio and Miami.
Miami.
Give us something, man.
I'm a big LeBron fan, and I want to see him get 2 or 3 in a row.
Does Tim Duncan rate now in like the all-time greats of centers?
Absolutely. I mean, he has the same amount of titles as Shaquille O'Neal. I think he did it with less talent because he didn't have Kobe Bryant, another top 10
David
player.
Robinson.
He had David Robinson for 2, and then he won 2 without David Robinson. He won his first title in 1999. If they can win the title this year, 14 years after their first title, and give him his 5th title, I think you could argue that I would say he's a top 3 big man. I already think he's a top 5 big man.
I like Duncan. He's a great player, but he doesn't compare to Wilt, Russell, Jabbar, Olajuwon, and Shaq. There's 5 ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean,
Dad, he's got more titles than Olajuwon, and Olajuwon won his title because Jordan left the league. Jordan won 3 in a row, then he leaves. Olajuwon, gets his titles. Jordan comes back, and he wins 3 in a row.
he's dull. I mean, let's just face it. We don't want to say anything. I mean, Shaq is not dull. Bill Russell wasn't dull. Kareem wasn't dull. I mean, there was some pizzazz in it. Tim, he's got, he has 2 expressions: this, and then this. I mean, that's it. So you can't. I mean, really, what are you talking about?
Well, he did actually have a great quote after Game 2 of the series against Memphis, because they asked him. They said, "You're 37 years old. How can you still play at this high, this high level of basketball?" And he said, I'm not worried about that. I just love playing. I just play the game. I don't worry about what my age is.
Oh,
What
what a scintillating quote that is. Anyway,
He
so
just likes to play.
All right. I'd like to thank Eduardo Dudley for showing up and being our special guest. We like to
for having me.
Yeah, well, Kevin actually forced you on us, if you must know the truth. And Kyle, look forward to another great effort. So, all right, guys, this is how we end it.